All right. Well, welcome to another Elevate Online. This is our sixth webinar this year in this particular series. And today's topic is the mindset side of things. I think mindset behind business growth is really something that a lot of people don't address in time. So I thought to put together this presentation and invite a very special guest, Darren, whom I'll introduce a little bit later today. My name is Alexi. I run a company called Your Easy Web Solutions, and I have a podcast called Get Better Business Podcast. Um, I like to arrange webinars and events like this one to make sure we can connect people and obviously cover topics that are most relevant for business owners. I love learning and I love to share what I have learned. And my passion is helping business owners grow through marketing, sales, and overall working smarter as opposed to working harder. I established Your Easy Web Solutions in 2007. And we're an agency that basically works with B2B and B2C types of businesses across digital marketing, sales automation, and as of lately, we've been doing a lot of AI stuff as well. We're across Brisbane, Gold Coast, and Melbourne, but we do have clients nationally and internationally as well. In terms of what our business is known for, we've got a pretty solid customer retention. For digital marketing, it's something that well, it needs to be highlighted because our client relationships sort of last between 7 and 10 years, whereas in digital marketing, as of 2025, the average engagement is 3 to 6 months. So I find that quite interesting. But for us, it's about building relationships. We run pretty awesome campaigns, I would say. So our success rate is way above average. And our friendly team is something that our customers always comment on. I guess one thing that you may have come across is our current affairs story, where we have defeated Kanye West in the battle of David versus Goliath over the trademark of use. He decided to register use and lost. If you guys want to check that out, Google it up. There's a couple of episodes, and we've been featured on the current affair twice, and as a result of that, have been on the Courier Mail and all sorts of other publications as well. So Elevate Online, this year we've covered a whole bunch of different topics. These are some of the presentations that we ran throughout the year, and you can find the recordings for these in our YouTube channel. So the first one was about the how our top 10% customers win with AI and niche strategy. I think if you're into niche marketing, you may find this highly relevant. Now, then we did a whole bunch in sales and marketing, and we tried to sort of plug in as much of AI and automation as possible into our conversations. And the last webinar that Max ran was about how we saved over $5,000 per month with ChatGPT and email automations. And I think this is something that any business can implement. Whether this is going to make you money or save you money is entirely up to you. But if you want to check those out, they're on our YouTube channel. If you have any trouble finding it, just flick me an email and I'll be happy to share the link with you as well. So today's topic is mindset. I think mindset is the foundation of everything in the business. It's how you basically believe, it's how you make your decisions. And I think a lot of the time, business owners completely forget about this side of things. They try to play with marketing, they try to play with sales. But at the end of the day, a lot of businesses lose momentum purely because everything comes down to the business owner's belief system. I think that, changing your mindset is something that can create the biggest impact on the business. And this is where I would like to focus today. Well, look, I'm no expert in mindset, and I like to connect and partner with people who are the best in what they do. So today we've got Darren Stevens, whom I've personally known since 2005, so 20 years now. And Darren is a self-made millionaire, and he is an amazing person when it comes to business guidance, advice, creativity. He's written a number of best-selling books, and in fact, the book that I've just published has been done through Darren's global publishing group as well. Without stealing too much from him, why don't we hand it over to Darren to run his presentation, because I think this is the man that you'd really like to hear today. So Darren, can we just get you unmute, please? You there with us?
Yep, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. All right. I'll be your clicker for the day.
Okay. All right. Well, you can start clicking. I guess, thanks for having me on, Lexi. We have known each other for 20 years, and I've seen the massive success that you've had with businesses as well, helping them grow. And you're certainly the first person we recommend when it comes to helping stuff with online to our clients as well. So, because of your expertise, and so that's been phenomenal over those years. But myself, having been an entrepreneur and run multiple different businesses and consulted to thousands of different businesses, one of the things that I think is the most overlooked thing is mindset, and that has probably the biggest impact on your business and your life overall. So it is a certainly passion of mine to help people understand that, because it's certainly what made a big difference for me. So I guess just so I can see, I know a few people already in the room, but I'm not sure what others do. So maybe let us know, or you can, if you already know Alexi, let us know what some of the people do as far as their businesses go. So perhaps Sigrid or Ben or whoever. I already know some of the others, so I know what their businesses are, but just so I've got a bit of a guide. So well, let me see, show of hands, how many people are business owners for a start? Yep. Okay, excellent. Great. All right. So I guess most people want more time or more money, or to grow their business if they're in business. And I'm assuming everyone that's watching this is in some sort of business. So I was just the same. I wanted to do that as well. And so I guess what I want to cover tonight, and we'll jump to the next slide, is to give you a bit of an overview of what I'll cover. I'll tell you a little bit about myself, not much, but just to give you a quick guide so you know what I've done, share some success strategies, and show you how you can achieve those extraordinary things in your own life. Give you lots of practical tips and tools for change and expand your thinking overall. And then give you lastly, some resources that you can use that can help fast track the whole lot. So that's where we'll start. A bit about myself. Started out as a 13-year-old making handmade chess sets. That was my first business. And left school at 16, started work at a jeweler shop in a little country town in Victoria, and started as an engraver. So that was where I started. I left there after a few years, and while I was still there, I actually bought my first house at 17. And then started my own business at 19, starting a signage and shop fitting company, and moved to Melbourne and grew that company to was doing around $12 million a year, and then sold that company and got into consulting. But during that journey, and I'll go to the next slide, Lexi, I went through a stage, because I started out so young, I got disillusioned myself, in business, trying to learn how to make money and how to do marketing and how to sell and all the things that I thought I knew what I was doing, but I had no clue, because I hadn't done any formal degrees in business or anything like that. So I learnt from the school of hard knocks. But I got a little bit disillusioned myself at one stage, and I started to feel unworthy, not good enough, and I was scared about letting my parents down, that I was failing or whatever with business. So I started to go, well, what can I do to overcome that anxiety and that feeling of feeling unworthy and frustrated growing a business? And so I went to lots and lots of seminars. I started going, and I started going to different seminars. You can move on, Alexi, that's fine. Go to the next one. And I went to Tony Robbins, Jay Abraham for marketing, and I went to all the gurus out at that time, way back many, many, many years ago. And they really changed my life. Getting a mentor, if you haven't got a mentor already, definitely get one. If you haven't, you should have Alexi as a mentor. So having a mentor can really fast track your business growth and success, because someone else can look at things differently, see your mistakes, see things that you can't see because you're too close to it. But anyway, I went, to learn from all these different gurus. I started implementing those things, and it really had a massive impact on my life. So I found that all of a sudden I was then able to grow the business and really become successful, putting in place those things. But the biggest thing from all those seminars was actually learning about mindset. And so then I went on, and you can go to the next one. Went on, and I've worked and consulted now with lots of Fortune 500 companies, businesses all over Australia. I was one of the key people that helped bring Bunnings to Australia, and worked with many, many blue chip companies and consulted to them about their marketing, their branding, and growing their brands around the world. And so then for the last 30 years, I've been speaking around the world, sharing that wisdom about, what it takes, from a mindset point of view, from a business point of view, marketing point of view, and had tens of thousands of people in audiences that I've spoken to around the world, literally helping them grow their businesses and brands. And a big part of that is using your mindset. Had the privilege of now working with all these amazing people, either consulting with them or working directly with them on their businesses, or working with them and speaking on stage, a whole range of things. And obviously, when you spend time with all these sort of people, you get to learn their strategies to success and what made them successful. So I got the privilege of doing that and learning from them as well as working with them. So that was an amazing part of my journey. I'm a best-selling author, as Alexi alluded to before. I've got a number of best-selling books. And I've got another couple coming out. There's just a few there on business and marketing and things. Then I've got 2 more coming out, which is the next slide. On one on property on the Gold Coast, because I own a real estate company as well. And we do around $50 million a year with that business alone, just on the Gold Coast. And we help people get into properties and make wealth from real estate as well. And then I've got another one coming out next year, which is called Cracking the Wealth Code, which is using mindset and hypnosis, because underneath all the things I've done over the years, it comes down to your mindset. So if you're not achieving what you want in life, you can have the best marketing tools or the best business, but unless you've got the right mindset, then that's not going to work no matter what happens. So it does all come back to mindset. And so let me ask you this question. Yep, go back. Let me ask you this question. Are you operating at 100% of your true potential? Now, the reality is most of us aren't, right? And there was a study done not long ago where they asked people, what was it that you wanted from life? And the overwhelming majority of people said they wanted more success. Now, success means different things to different people. Some people wanted more success in their career. Some people wanted more success in their business. Some people wanted more success from a monetary point of view. Some wanted, better relationships with their friends, their family. Some wanted more success from a health point of view. Now, I think it's all of those things and doing one other thing. It's living life on your terms. All right. So I think it's a combination of all of those things is what success really is. Now, I want to help you achieve that and achieve your greater potential. But what I found over the years of talking to thousands of people around the world, there's actually 2 things that hold people back. And these 2 things that hold people back, the first one is fear or self-sabotage. Right? And the second thing is not thinking big enough or creative enough. They're the 2 key things that hold most people back from being successful in their life or business. All right. First, self-sabotage and they're fearful, they've got fear around it. Or the second thing, not thinking big enough or creative enough. And that's why having a mentor or a coach working with you can help you expand that creativity. So that's something where Alexi is amazing at and seeing things differently. Now, what I want to do to give you a demonstration of that is, if we'll go to the next slide, Alexi. Yep, we'll go to the next one. All right. The power of imagination. What I'd like everyone to do for a sec is just this little exercise. Is I want everyone to put their hands together, palms together like this. All right. So as long as you're not driving, so if anyone's driving, don't do this. All right. So palms together, and I want you to just rub your hands nice and tight for a sec. Yeah. All right. Then palms together, and I want you to interlace your fingers, just like the picture on the PowerPoint slide. Interlace your fingers so they're nice and tight, and now pull your 2 fingers apart. Right out in front of you like this so that you can see them in 2 fingers apart. And I want you to look at that gap. Look at those 2 fingers. And I want you to imagine for a moment that there's a magnet in each of those fingers. And as you're doing this exercise, just notice your fingers starting to get closer and closer together. That's right. They're getting tighter and tighter and tighter until they come all the way together. All right. Let me see a show of hands. How many people had that happen? Yeah. Good. Excellent. So, now, your imagination is a part of what happens at the unconscious level. And so the more you can imagine what it is that you want in life or business or what you want to have happen with intensity, the more you will draw that into your life. Just like we're imagining that you had magnets in your fingers and it pulled your fingers together, the same thing applies when you are doing things for yourself. If you're setting goals or you're wanting to achieve something in your life or business, then doing that makes a huge difference. So if we go to the next slide, what I want you to do now is we're going to do a little exercise, and you're going to do this with your eyes closed. So I'll just talk you through it because I want you to just listen to me and not watch anything. So again, if you're driving, please don't close your eyes. Don't do this exercise. You can watch the replay and do it. But what I want you to do is I want you to, in one hand, I want you to imagine holding out one hand. And in that one hand, I want you to put the part of you that wants to succeed and achieve to fulfill your full potential. All right. So again, have that, holding that out in one hand. And I want you to notice maybe there's a shape or a color that you're holding in that hand, but it's going to represent, the part of you that wants to achieve success and fulfill your true potential. Now, on the other hand, I want you to hold out the other hand, and I want you to put the part of you that stops you or sabotages you or gets in the way at times, all right? And I want you to put it in that other hand. And I want you now to let them, as you're doing this with your eyes closed, listening to what I'm saying, I want you to let them work out how they can both fulfill their positive intents without holding you back unnecessarily from achieving your true potential. I want them to both see how they can work together to help you fulfill your positive intent or outcomes that you want. That's right. And I want you to slowly start to move your hands towards each other as if they were coming together. That's right. I want these two parts to work together, right? These parts that have perhaps been sabotaging you or stopping you from doing certain things because there's been a conflict at some stage, perhaps at the unconscious level. So I want them to work out how they can work together. And as they work that out, I want you to hands slowly to come together as one. That's right. And as they come together and that they want to work together as one part of you, one super part. I want you, as you see them come together, maybe they're a shape or a color and you can see the different colors blending together. That's right. And as they come together now, I want you to start to pull them up as if you're going to pull them into your chest. That's right. And pull those two parts that have come together as one super part and pull them into your chest. And just notice that they click. There's like a clicking sound as they click together, as they're willing to work together now as one creative super part to work inside you. And remember, this is all taking place at the unconscious level, inside your mind. These parts can work together and work a way that they can help pull things together so that you've got that one super part inside you that can make decisions and make things move forward faster and easier for you, rather than having those two parts in conflict. Good. And now that you've done that, I want you to imagine what it would be like in 6 months' time. Notice what it would be like in the future. 6 months into the future. Notice how your life is different. What's different now that you're able to do things easily or effortlessly with what it is that you want to achieve. That things aren't holding you back anymore. That there's been a change at the unconscious level. That those parts, that one part that may have been sabotaging you and another part that wanted to succeed, because they're now working together, you notice that things are starting to change. And see how that looks different now, 6 months into the future. Good. And now if you were to go out 12 months into the future, notice how different your future looks 12 months into the future.
Okay.
Good. All right. And now that you've done that, you can then just come back into the room and open your eyes.
Oh.
Good. All right. So, all right, that's just a little exercise for the unconscious mind, because what happens is that if we have parts in conflict at the unconscious level, then we get a lot of procrastination. And there's a part of you that truly wants to perhaps do something, and there's another part that may be fearful or doesn't want you to do it because it's fearful that you may make a fool of yourself, or it may not, work out. So you'll fail. So it doesn't want you to fail. So it doesn't want to do it at all. But there's another part of you that's the entrepreneurial part, or the other part that says, hey, I want to really make that happen. And you get this toing and froing. That exercise helps put those parts together so that you don't have that conflict internally. All right. So moving on from there, we can skip the next slide. So that will help you be more successful, that simple exercise, just doing that and having those parts work together. Now, at the moment, we live in challenging times. There's AI that's challenging for some people. There's prices of houses going up. We've got, wars overseas. You've got things happening in America with Donald Trump. There's all sorts of things happening all the time around the world. And if you listen to the media all the time, then you'd be probably negative all the time, because there's so much negativity in the media. So we want to be able to protect ourselves from that, from a mindset point of view. All right. So you want to be able to not get caught up in that and have a really solid mindset, so you don't get sucked into all this fear and everything else. Because there's a whole saying that in the media goes, if it bleeds, it leads. So the more that they can, make something sound dramatic, then the more that people will watch it or get sucked in by it, right? So you want to keep away from all that stuff to protect your mind. All right, we'll go to the next one, Alexi. So what's important, though, is also understanding your mindset as well as your clients. So if you're all in business, then what is going to make a big impact is the ability to build relationships and build rapport with your customers. That's something that AI isn't going to take over or change, right? Because it can't be as personal and build that connection at a deeper level where, human to human. And so it can do a lot of things, but this is something that's going to become more and more relevant, especially leading forward in the next few years. So the more you know how to build great relationships with people, the better relationships you'll have in business. And that applies to, your friends, family, and how you actually have a relationship with yourself and your own mindset. So what's rapport? Most people say, well, what rapport is? It's, connecting with people, talking about similar topics. Well, I say, well, rapport is a lot more than those things. And why it's so important, and we'll run through a few of those. Having good rapport with people will help you build relationships with your suppliers. So we can click through, Alexi, to some of those. It'll help you be a more effective leader. Get better feedback from your customers, knowing what they want and how you can build those relationships so that they're really strong and solid. Increases your credibility in the marketplace when you're able to communicate effectively. Negotiate better deals and increase your sales and profits and career investment, advance if you're, working for somebody. Being able to build those relationships. And lastly, it helps motivate you and build a great asset, as well. So, and motivate your team. So with all of those things, we activate a part of the brain called the reticular activating system. Now, the reticular activating system is a part of the brain that tracks for opportunities. Right? When you can build rapport with not only yourself, but with other people, then they start to see the opportunities of working with you and your product or services as well. So I guess you've all probably experienced the reticular activating system at some stage in your life, which is you might have chosen about a new car, say, that you wanted to buy. Maybe you wanted to buy a new red Mazda 6 as a car, and you went to a car dealership, pulled in, looked at the car and went, okay, that's on my bucket list now. I want to buy that car at some stage. And you drive out of the dealership in your car, and you're driving down the highway, and all of a sudden a red Mazda 6 pulls up next to you, and you start seeing them everywhere. You pull into a shopping center and you see another one. They all just start appearing out of nowhere. That means what you've done is you've activated the reticular activating system, a part of the brain that now tracks for those opportunities. It's seen, you've decided that's what I want, so you start seeing those opportunities. Those cars were always there. And the same thing applies in business. So, if you want, more customers, or you want particular type of clients, are you attracting them? Are you activating your RAS so that it attracts and finds those customers? Some people attract negative things into their life because our RAS is set to attract crappy things to happen to them. So we want to make sure yours is tracking for the right things as well. All right, we'll keep going, Alexi. So we'll keep going past that one. There was another thing that was shown from a communication point of view is UCLA did a study on non-verbal communication. And what they said was that most people pay attention to these three key things. And the big thing was actually body language. So body language made up 55% of what people paid attention to. 7% was only words, and 38% was the tonality in which you said those words. All right, so how you interact physically, with people, and your body language, as well as your tonality, is more important than the actual words you're saying. All right, so understanding that when you're communicating with your customers and clients and people is really important. All right, so tonality and body language are critical. All right, next one. So there's three key things that help you understand how people process information. Some people process visually, auditory, and kinesthetically. Now, visual processing people tend to make pictures in their mind, right? They tend to talk at a faster pace. They like to see things, right? And so if you were talking to someone who was processing visually, you would talk at a faster pace. You would use words like, oh, let me show you this item, or let me show you this opportunity, because I know once you see it, you're going to want to have this in your business, or want to do this, right? You're going to use visual words and talk at that faster pace, right? Because that's how they like to communicate. And you can tell someone that processes visually because they tend to like to dress smart and look good, right? Because how they look and see things is important to them. Somebody processing auditory tends to stand, when they're talking to you, they tend to have their head tilted sideways because they're lending you their ear, right? Because how they process and make sense of the world is through the auditory channels. So they're going to also use words like, oh, tell me more about that. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's talk about it. Right? So they're not going to use the visual words so much. They're going to use auditory words like sounds like, let me talk about it, or hear it. Right? So they're the sorts of words. They are a little bit slower paced than a visual processing. And just so you know, we have all three, but you have a primary one that you operate out of yourself. All right. So the auditory channel tends to be like that. Now, somebody processing kinesthetically, they tend to slow down, and because they have to feel it in their body, because they make sense of the world through feeling, right? So they get a good gut feel about, oh, I get a good gut feel about working with Alexi, that feels right to do business with him. Right. So for them, it's a body sensation, right? They tend to talk at a slower pace, and they may not even look at you. They may even have their head down because they don't need to make eye contact because it's a body sensation for them. All right. So that's how it feels for them. All right. So, feeling is going to be a big thing for them. All right. So if we go to the next one, also, when you're looking at someone, we're going to rush through this because it's a lot more advanced technique to try and teach you on a webinar, but you can tell how somebody processes by their eye movements. So somebody processing visually, their eyes will actually move upwards, up into the top cortex of their eyes. So their eyes go up when they're looking for information, or they will defocus and make a picture out in front of them. So that's how somebody that is processing visually. Somebody processing auditory, their eyes move from side to side, right? Because it's towards their ears, right? Because they're processing auditory. And somebody processing kinesthetically is as you're facing the person, so as you're looking at this picture, it'll be down and to the left as you're looking at this, but it's actually down and to their right? If you were that person, right? So as you're looking at them, though, it'll be down and to the left. So that's how they process. So we'll move to the next one. Now, the reason I share this is I want to give you an example from a sales point of view and from experience I had. Is I went to buy this actual car from a Mercedes dealership. And when I walked in the door, I already decided, I looked online, I knew what I wanted to get. And so this AMG Mercedes Sports, I went in. I went, okay, can I see the black Mercedes Sports AMG? I would like to, look at that, look at it, and I'm interested in buying one. And the salesman said to me at the time, he said, "Oh, let me, come and sit down and let me tell you all about the safety features. Let me tell you all about the car. Then we can talk all about the features and what it does and everything else." And I said, "Oh, no, just show me the car. I'm just here. I've got a break from work. I want to, pop in and just, I want to see the car. Can I just have a look at it?" And he said, "Oh, yeah, we'll get to that, but let me sit down. It'll only take about 20 minutes and I'll tell you all about the car." Well, straight away, what was he doing? If I'm processing visually, I want to see the car, and he's processing auditorily because he wants to tell me all about it, he's breaking rapport with me. Right? So he broke rapport with me straight away rather than building a relationship. He was only pissing me off because he wasn't showing me the car. And so in the end, I got so frustrated. I said, "Oh, don't worry about it. I'm just going to go somewhere else." So I started walking out of the dealership. And as I'm walking out of the dealership, the sales manager caught my eye, and he seen me walking out and saying that I wasn't very happy. And so he sort of ran over and caught me at the door before I got out the door and sort of said, "Oh, is there a problem?" And I said, "Yeah, your salesman's an idiot." And I said, "I came in here to buy this car. It was like $130,000. And I said, he wouldn't even show me the car. He wanted to tell me all about it first." And I said, and he was breaking rapport with me. He obviously doesn't understand communications and the styles of different people, understanding your customer style. And he said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. Let me see what I can do." And he's gone into damage control. And so I seen an opportunity there, and I thought, "Oh, well, here's an opportunity for me to negotiate a good price on the car." So I said, "You didn't understand visual, auditory, and kinesthetic." And I seen the salesman's eyes glaze over because he obviously didn't know what it either was. This is a sales manager. And he said, "Oh, what do you mean?" And I explained it to him. And then all of a sudden he said, "Oh, look, come into my office. I'd like to know a bit more about that." And I said, "Because," I said, we lost another sale to a customer only yesterday, which we were really surprised because the guy was very interested." And I said, "Was it to the same person?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, it's probably because he didn't match his style." I said, "I'm sure he sells cars." And he said, "Yes, he's our best salesman." He said he sells normally 6 prestige cars a month. And he said he's been doing that consistently for 2 years. And he said he's our best salesman. And I said, "But he's also lost a number of sales, right?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "That's because he's only selling to the style of person that he communicates best with. He's not matching other people's styles." Because if you'd gone in to buy that car and you were visual, he should have shown me the car. If I was processing auditory, he should have sat me down and told me about it and things fine. But if I was processing kinesthetically, what should he have done? Anyone? He should have, I'll tell you, save you unmuting, but he should have said, "Well, come and sit in the car and feel the leather seats, and get a good feeling for the car and feel how comfortable it is and how beautiful it will be to drive," and things like that, because that's more about the feeling, right? So he would have matched the style. So in the end, I explained this to that visual, auditory, and kinesthetic to the sales manager. I negotiated a great price on the car. And actually, if you go to the next slide, you'll see this was the feedback. They ended up having me come in and train their sales team, and I got $30,000 discount on the car. And I trained them. They doubled their sales the following month. So that same person that had been doing 6 car sales every month for 2 years consistently did 13 cars actually the following month, just by that one technique, just by actually understanding how to communicate with the different styles of personalities and people on a different level. All right. So that was the thing that came up from Mercedes. All right. So understand that when you're doing that from your marketing point of view with your customers, are you rotating? Because you don't know when you're first reaching out to your customers, are they processing visually, auditory, or kinesthetically? So you want to rotate through all of them in all your marketing copy, in your advertising. Some people are going to relate to a video because they can see it, right? Some are going to relate to an audio, or a podcast because they can hear it. You want to be able to rotate through all three and then understand that you're connecting at different levels with different people, right? So just something to be aware of when you're communicating with people, and understand even for yourself. How do you process? Do you process more visually or auditory or kinesthetically? And how does your partner or family members process? Because you want to communicate with them on a style that matches them. So I have 7 children and I communicate differently to each of them. Depending on their style is how I will communicate with them, because I want them to feel loved and connected by me. So I'm going to match their style that serves them the best. All right. All right. Next one, Alexi. All right. Well, we can jump past this. We can do the question and answers afterwards. So what I wanted to do now is just talk to you a little bit about understanding mindset in a bigger way. One of the biggest things that had an impact for me and many of the people and the top clients that I've worked with around the world was actually getting to work using hypnosis at the unconscious level to make the changes or to change what it is that they wanted to achieve in their life. Now, hypnosis, some people are scared by that. Some people understand it and go, wow, I want to use that. So many people use it that have been successful, right? They may not talk about it. I'm going to give you some examples of people that have, but it really is a game changer for you when you can make changes at the unconscious level. All right. It can improve self-esteem and confidence, overcome fears, use it for peak performance. Obviously all the things like weight loss, smoking, alcohol, or fertility issues, any health sort of issues you can use it for. But on a business sense, you can use it for setting your goals. You can use it for peak performance, persuasion, influence, creating better connections with people. You can use it, more importantly, you use it on yourself, right? So that you become a better version of you, so that you can achieve the things that you want in your life. All right, so we'll go to the next one. So some of the people in here, you can keep going on this so that they can see who they are. Here's some high profile people that you may not realize, but they've all used hypnosis at the unconscious level to better their careers and to improve their performance as a speaker, as an actor, as a member of the royal family, from the Dalai Lama to Tony Robbins to President Clinton, Oprah, actors like, Sylvester Stallone, Richard Branson, even Einstein used hypnosis to be able to come up with some of his theories. He put himself into a hypnotic state to be able to think differently. So many different people have used hypnosis to be able to improve their lives. And we'll go to the next one. Here's some more people, other former actors, musicians, so many of these people have used it to improve themselves, right? So here's a recent one of a client of ours that used it at a seminar that we ran. Steve, he used the hypnosis, and it was amazing that just from that one use of our success library that we have where he used the hypnosis track, he got offered, he virtually was broke. And he was looking for a new business opportunity, and he had no money. And then all of a sudden, he used the hypnosis, cleared the blockage he's had around going broke. And within a week, he had someone offering $500,000 to buy shares in a 4-wheel drive business that he was setting up. Right, and then he also found the perfect romantic partner that he'd been looking for. All of this happened, literally in 1 month after using and clearing some blocks he had using the hypnosis library. So it was quite amazing. And here's another one. This was another person so you use some hypnosis. He was a real estate agent in Canada, and he was scared about being able to speak to a group of people that he had to speak to about real estate. And so he did some hypnosis work, and then when he went and did the actual meeting, he ended up making $151,000 from it, because he had overcome that fear of being able to speak to a group of 40 people. But he was, still a little bit couldn't believe it, because he thought, oh, is this really happening, because of how fearful he was, and that the hypnosis had overcome it. He said, these are Facebook messages he sent me. We'll go to the next slide. He then did it again, and this time he did another 240,000. And so combined, just from being able to make that change using our hypnosis tracks, he made over $391,000 US. So, that's probably 500,000 Australian dollars. But so that was what happened to this gentleman. It was really, really powerful. So one of the things, I actually met a guy in the US who was a helicopter pilot, and he worked for the Coast Guard. And I said, how do you know who to save? And I said, because when you fly out and there's a wreckage or a boat wreckage and there's heaps of people in the water, obviously the helicopter can only take so many people in the first pickup. I said, so who do you choose who to save first? And he said, oh, it's really simple. We have a philosophy. He said, when we fly out to a wreckage, he said, we can't hover the helicopter over the wreckage or where the people are in the water, because the draft of the helicopter blades will actually create bigger waves and will drown them. So he said, we have to actually hover away from where the wreckage is and where they are. And so he said, the decision of who we're going to save first is those who swim towards us in the helicopter, and they're the ones we take first. So he said, it's those who swim towards us. And that reminded me, when you're in business or you're trying to help people in life, you can only help those who actually want to be helped firstly, and those who are prepared to take that leap of faith or swim towards you, or take a step towards you or your business and whatever it is that your service or product is that you're helping people with. If they're not going to take a step towards you, you really can't help them. All right, but you can. And I use that as a philosophy now in business. And one of the goals I have was helping a whole stack of people using mindset. And so we'll keep moving through. And so let me ask you this question: is if you could have some tools or resources that would actually help you clear anything that's perhaps holding you back, or helping you with your mindset that will allow you to go that next step, or to achieve more in your business and generate more income, or whatever it is that's perhaps holding you back or not allowing you to get what it is you want, I guarantee you it'll be something stopping you at an unconscious level. If you had some resources or tools that could help you do that, would you be excited by that? Hopefully everyone is. Yeah. So we'll go to the next one, because I have a goal, and I just know how much impact it's had for me in my life, but also on those who have had the privilege of helping. And so I've got a goal myself of helping over 10,000 people actually get access to a library of hypnosis tracks that we created. And we built something that was pretty unique. And I'll share that with you. I'll take a couple of minutes, tell you a little bit about it, and then take some question and answers and things. But if we go to the next one, Alexi. So we built a thing called the Success Library. And what I did was, we used to sell a program, like if I did something on mindset, like I've got one track, so Millionaire Mindset, helping shift your mindset at that level. And that we used to sell that for $1,000, and we'd sold lots and lots of them. And we've got all different ones for business and personal and health, and we've created a massive library. As a matter of fact, there's over $60,000 worth of tracks and things that we put in this library. But I wanted to reach as many people as I can, because I'm at that stage of my life, I really want to have a big impact on as many people from a mindset point of view. So we developed this library, and we wanted to reduce it so that it made it so accessible to everybody. And so what we did was we put I'll share those type of things that are inside it if we go to the next slide. Inside this library, it's one of the world's largest libraries on mindset and hypnosis tracks. So we've got a whole library full of things to do with wealth and success, all different tracks that cover all sorts of things to be able to help you be more successful. Then we have professional business programs. So maybe you got a fear of public speaking, or you want to be able to sell more effectively, or you want to be able to build rapport, or you want to do anything really in business, be more of an entrepreneur and things like that. We've got tracks that actually specifically target those programs. We've got like Millionaire Mindset there. So we've got one, even the Millionaire Mindset, that'll be about creating more passion and creativity in your life, supercharging your life, or instant wealth, instant confidence, being attracted to money, being a money magnet. But then we've got health programs. So we've got everything from weight loss to fertility to even menopause, you name it, we have it in there to help from a health point of view. Overcoming illness, overcoming cancer, all of those things, we've got those in there. We've got things on personal development, self-improvement, family, relationships. children. We have other bonus trainings in there. So I've got some things in there from Dr. John Gray all around personal success or relationships, for example. I've got things in there from Tony Robbins. I've got things in there from Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a whole heap of different people, as well as all these self-development tracks for yourself, right? So my belief is if you listen to these at night time, you're reprogramming your mind and you're going to get massive results from it. So we have a program in there. People paid thousands of dollars to come to, so we have the whole replay of that program inside here as well. And I also do live meetings with everyone once a month, where you can join a call with me, where I'll answer any of your questions and go through things that you may be having difficulty with or you need help with, and I'll address those from a mindset point of view. And that's a live call with myself personally every month. All right, so that you're a member of the library. So we'll keep going, Alexi. Okay. So this is giving you a bit of an overview inside the library. It's broken up into categories so that, when you're looking at it, you can go through the different categories. So we won't play that. We'll just keep moving, I think. Lots and lots of success stories of people that have used this library. We've got doctors, we've got millionaires, I've got a billionaire. I've got all sorts of industry people from every industry you can think of has used the library to be more successful in their business or personal life. We'll keep going. So hopefully you're super excited about this opportunity, because it's a rare thing that comes up when you're able to get access to something like this. So I've put something together for Alexi and for the team. So if you scroll through, Alexi, to the next one, this is some of the things that you get as a part of this library. You get unlimited access to all the hypnosis tracks, so a whole $60,000 worth of tracks that are in here already. So rather than paying $1,000 for one track, we've put them all in here, and you get access to the whole lot, and you'll be blown away with what the value is. And so you also have the ability to be an affiliate member, which allows you to obviously recommend it and be paid something from it as well. Exclusive community membership that you can talk to other people within the members area. We've got priority access to newly added tracks. Every single month we add new tracks to it. So it's always evolving. So we also have it so that as a member, you can say, oh, look, I'd love a track on overcoming this or doing this, and we'll add it to the list. And we record new tracks every month and get added to there. You don't pay any extra. They're all just added in and you get access to them. So new ones are added every month. There's a limited time bonus that we offer with this. The first one is recordings of this mindset mastery training. That was worth over $997. People paid to come to that. So the whole recording of that training is in there, plus the monthly live calls. So we do that. So for the whole time that you're a member, you get access to being come in and ask you questions, and people get huge value from that alone. So the total value of the whole package for something like this is over $69,000, nearly $70,000 worth of value. But you can, as a special to Alexi, and I know he's wanting to help people from a mindset point of view, you can get access to the whole year's membership for the library. If we go to the next slide. So normally it's $997 that we normally would just sell it for, but today for Alexi, we've got it at just $497, which literally is, $1.36 a day if you look at it over a year. So if you click it again, Alexi, so you get access to the $70,000 really worth of stuff, because we're adding new tracks this month, so it'll be clicked over that. And for $1.36 a day. So for a year's membership, where you're getting the mentoring and everything else, it's only going to cost you $497. So $1.37 a day, and you can obviously take care of anything that's holding you back in your mindset. So it's huge value. I know, Vanessa that was on, she's actually already a member, and I know she's had some massive breakthroughs already from being a part of it. So I'm not sure if you're there, Vanessa.
Yeah, I am.
So what would you say it's been worth to you for being a part of this?
100%. It's worth 60,000. Absolutely. Yeah, it's brilliant. I couldn't really speak highly enough of it. It's definitely yeah, it's the most extraordinary tool, and it just is such a wonderful thing to have access to it. I think also what you were saying about that it's just an incredibly complete library. Anything that you want, any problem you have in your life, from your personal life to your relationships to your business to money, it's all covered in the library, which is quite extraordinary because normally someone will focus on just one area. But yeah, I mean, I can't speak highly enough of it, and it's absolutely worth 69,000. It's pretty extraordinary that it's $1.30 a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Vanessa. So yeah, I just we've had amazing results with people, but that was a part of what I wanted to do, is reach as many people, because I know some people can't afford, to pay $1,000 for one program. So that's why we put it all in the library. They've got access to everything from a personal point of view, from a business point of view, and we're adding to it all the time. I had a bus driver actually who said, "Oh, because we drive buses and drives we don't get." Uh, Enough time to really have sleep, so he said be great to have a 10-minute like power nap track. So we created one, so we put that in there. So there's, if you need a 10-minute power nap that revitalizes your body, because literally 10 minutes under hypnosis is worth like 3 hours sleep anyway. So things like that. So again, you get access. Once you're a member, you can request things that you want added to it as well, and we'll do that. So like I said, we're continually adding every month. So we want it to be the most largest and biggest library in the world that is helping people grow and get through things in life. So all right, so where you can get it is go to Lexi's website there, and that will get you that special pricing if you go to that link. So just make sure, and Lexi might even put it in the chat for you. But I'll jump on to the next couple of slides while we go. So, if this one decision helped you, I guess, achieve the goals, the dreams, and made an impact on your life, would it be worth investing $1.37 a day? I would say yes, because most people spend that on a blooming can of Coke or a chocolate bar, when this will change your life forever. It really will, in so many ways. And like I said, I'm passionate about it because I know how it's changed my life, but I know how it's absolutely massively changed other people's lives. And that's something that's really priceless. So next one, Alexi. So one last thing I would like to leave you with is my formula for success is this, is whatever you're doing, you need to go out and get clarity first. Because when you have clarity, right, that leads you to have more certainty. All right. And when you have more certainty, we'll get you to click through. Yeah. Once you've got that certainty, that leads you to have more confidence. And because you've got more confidence, you'll take more action. And when you take more action, that leads to having more success. So, all right. So get the clarity first. And where you do that is at the unconscious level. If you get clarity about what it is you want to achieve in life, what's holding you back or whatever, that will lead you to have more certainty. And if you're working with these tools at the unconscious level, that will help you get the clarity, the certainty, rebuild your confidence. It will help you find the right tools and people. You take action, which leads to ultimately success. So, all right. Well, I'm open to any questions or things that people may have for Lexi, or whatever you'd like to do.
Well, normally what I do in these sessions is do a breakout session, because that way everyone gets a chance to connect a little bit more on the whole topic of mindset. And I guess from there we can then move on to questions. We still got a few minutes. If you guys are okay with that, I'll launch the breakout rooms just for maybe a few minutes. This also gives us a chance to introduce each other to one another, and have a bit of a meaningful conversation. I think the topic is mindset or limiting beliefs. So let me just set this up. Breakout rooms. You should get an invite coming through in a minute. All right. just join one of the rooms if you got an invite, or if you want to just
Reception. Oh, hello. Hi.
Hi. Have you got your camera?
Oh, yeah, I do. But I'm just having one of those days at home. It's my off day. So I'm in my pajamas. I was just like watching movies today. Like, no. Yeah. So,
no worries.
What
yeah.
did you think of Darren's presentation?
Oh, it was good. It was really, really good. I enjoyed that. It's something that I wanted to hear. Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. Yes.
I can't recommend his hypnosis practice enough. It's brilliant.
It's good. Yes, yes. Ah.
I've
Yeah.
been to Darren's events multiple times, and every time, I'm surprised how simple he makes things sound, where it comes down to really solving some fairly complex problems. And I think mindset is really quite a complicated subject, but he makes it really quite easy. So I'm really excited about this success library.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you tried it, Alexi? Have you
Not-
tried the success library?
Not yet. I was actually speaking to him just last month when we caught up, and he was going to send me the link. But yeah, I've been away, so I will jump onto it after this webinar as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
How you going there, Brian? I think you need to unmute, mate.
I said, nice to see you.
Good to see you too, mate. It's been a while.
Yes.
So, how are you finding Darren's presentation? I'm sure you've heard a couple by now.
Yeah, no, it was very clear and succinct,
Yeah,
and he radiates energy
absolutely.
and goes to the core. What more can I say?
No worries. Cool. And Vanessa, what business do you run?
I'm a pottery teacher.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's niche. That sounds like an interesting business.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. So we're both in physical form and retreats around the world and online.
Awesome, awesome. Well, we've got about 10 seconds left of the breakout rooms. I just want to make sure we got questions to be answered as well. So we'll be taken back into the general room in a second.
Yeah. Where are you located these days, Alexi?
I'm in Brisbane.
Oh, you're in Brisbane. Right.
All right. Well, I'll see you in the general room in a second.
Yeah.
All right. I think everyone's slowly getting back into here. Let's just give another 30 seconds or so. Okay. These breakout sessions sometimes finish up a little bit earlier than expected, but anyway. All right, here we are. Everyone's back.
Okay.
Well, I thought breakout rooms is a good opportunity for everyone to connect a little bit and have a bit of a chat. So, one thing I want to say to Darren is thank you, mate. I've obviously been a client of yours in relation to Global Publishing Group, and finally my book is now out. So it's been a 3-year journey for me, 3 and a bit. And my business is called Better Business That Works. It basically is a book about my program and how I've gone through a number of iterations in my business, how my mindset has changed, and it talks about how you can also improve your marketing and sales, create things like team culture, and implement systems and processes to make your business more scalable and saleable as well. This book is now available to be purchased through alexi.com.au. Yes, I've got that domain name in case
Cool.
you didn't know. And it'll soon be rolled out through Amazon as well. But I just want to say thanks, Darren, for helping me through this process. It's been an interesting one. And I've even been able to get Dale Beaumont to do the foreword for me as
Yeah, I
well.
see that. That's great. Fantastic.
Yeah. So guys,
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Be more than happy to get some feedback and sign some books for you as well. All right, let's jump into questions. I just want to make sure that we have an opportunity for everyone to ask any questions or address anything. I know mindset's a big topic, and obviously we try to squish a few things into this presentation, but in the interest of the time, I wanted to make sure everyone's got an opportunity to get access to Darren.
Okay.
No questions. Well, that's always good. That means that we've covered the topic really, really well.
That's
I think there's a lot in it that needs a bit of digestion for some of us probably as well. You know, we had a quick chat with Darren and the other Darren, and you know what the other Darren said definitely sounds like Darren's program is covering. So there's a lot in there. I think one needs to give it a bit of thought for a moment and let that sink in.
Yeah.
Well, I'm speaking for myself, not for everyone else. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess the question I'd like to ask is, how you went through that visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. When selling digital products, Darren, what would you advise? I mean, obviously, I'm in the digital marketing game, and a lot of the time you sort of borderline explain to people or show people exactly what we do, but the emotion side of things is a bit of a difficult one because people feel a different way. And I must say that a lot of the time when people come to us, they usually don't have a very good prior experience. And for us, it's always about, restoring their faith. How would you address that kinesthetic, side of things when it comes to digital products, like, let's say, digital marketing services or websites?
Well, I think what you got to do is you got to connect with the person as a human being. And so I think from an online point of view, you want to be able to have things that are not just online, so that you're doing things that you connect with the person. I'll give you an example. With our property company, we just sold a property to a gentleman, and it was $1.6 million with this property on the Gold Coast. And because we're connecting with him personally, like he bought that, basically off the internet. But as something to build a stronger relationship that was more personalised to him, in talking to him, I realised he had a passion around speedboats, and he has a top fuel race boat, right? So he does jet boat racing. We decided, okay, how can we bring a smile to his face and connect with him on a personal level that's tactile, right? So that he gets something kinesthetic as well, right? So what we did was we designed up a T-shirt logo. In the conversations with him, he shared a couple of photos of his jet boats with me, and I took one of those photos and I had a T-shirt printed with the boat on it, and his name, and Top Fuel race team and things like that. And we sent him the T-shirt, and we've got like a friend for life now. Like, he actually rang me only just before this webinar because he just got the T-shirt, and his wife rang me saying, "Oh my God, he is just prancing around the house like you wouldn't believe with this T-shirt." So much so that he's going to go and have a whole complete actual embroidery done of that brand and that logo that we did for him for the T-shirt on a special fire retardant suit that they wear in the drag boats. So we always want to create relationships for life with people. So we're giving them that human element. It's like we knew enough to ask questions, that we cared about something that was a passion of his, and went that extra mile. Now, that's got nothing to do with a real estate, right? But it's something that's going to stick with him forever. And he's going to, every time he wears that T-shirt, he's going to be thinking of us.
That's awesome. That's really clever. Okay.
Right. So I think, and especially nowadays with to be honest, I'll just tell you how we did it. I took a photo of his boat. I uploaded the boat picture to ChatGPT and said, create me a T-shirt logo with this boat and with this wording with his name on it and everything else, and create a graphic image design. And it did it in literally 2 minutes. Sent me back the image. I took it to a T-shirt place, and it cost $50 for the T-shirt, the print, the whole lot. But he's got that, and that was worth thousands of dollars to him. Like, that was such a nice personal touch. All right. So I think it's when you're connecting with your audience, see how you can connect with them on every level visually. So if you were connecting with someone visually, you should make sure you do a video. Like, another thing we do, and I'll give an example from the real estate. When we connect with a client, we send them a personalized video because they're only talking to us over the phone, so they have no visual reference. So we send them a video that's done personally to them saying, hey, just wanted to send you a quick video so you've now got a face to put behind the name. Looking forward to helping you, da da da, etc. It takes a couple of minutes, but it's that personalized touch, right? Now that now expresses emotion in that video as opposed to just an email, for example.
That's
So
awesome.
I think you've got to look at that, going your business and your thing, say, okay, how can I do something that's different to what other people do, and use all those elements. So yeah, you've got video, you've got audio, you've got, being able to send a gift out to them that's more personalized, and do that.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, I use Loom quite a fair bit, and yeah, I think I'd definitely explore the gifting path as well. I think that's something we haven't looked into too much, but yeah, that could be a great one.
Yeah.
Cool.
If
Any
you
other
look at other
questions?
people, I know from being part of Russell's mastermind with him and working and helping him with ClickFunnels, from an online platform, one of the biggest things that helped their conversion for selling their software was actually sending out T-shirts to anyone that was looking at joining. They sent them out a T-shirt with their branding on it. And if you look at Bunnings, right, Bunnings do this. You can go and buy the umbrellas, or a great quality umbrella, but they're branded with Bunnings on them, or Bunnings will give tradies, jumpers or shirts and things with their branding on it, because they know about building that customer loyalty.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Any other?
Yeah, because you can lose that personal touch with the online selling, can't you? Like you're not using the visual, the auditory, or the kinesthetic when you're selling something online. So if you can come up with a personal touch.
And also, I think
people, I give my phone number as well, so people who are buying something from me online, they can actually ring me and we can have a chat about it. And I think that helps a lot to sell the product. Whereas I think a lot of online businesses don't like to do that. They just want to click and collect sort of thing, So I think that's an edge that I have on some of the things that I sell.
Yeah, like I find that if I go into a restaurant for myself, I hate it when they have the barcode things on there and say, "Oh, just order from the barcode," or whatever. No, I will really want someone to come over and wait on our table and be able to have a conversation with them because I'm going out for dinner or whatever, rather than just having to get on my phone and press an app and things like that. Now, some people love that, and and maybe having that as an option as well for people, but I still like the personalized service. And I think we're getting into a world where so much has gone digital, so much has gone online and things like that. Adding that personal touch or another element that's not just online, that makes something that's perhaps non-tangible more tangible. I think you want to be looking at that and building long-term relationships, so that you've got that connection. Just like we did with this guy with a T-shirt. He's like I said, that's building that relationship. Even when you're sending out a thank you card to somebody or whatever, don't just send them an email, send them a physical card, because no one gets them anymore. So, like everything's gone so digital.
Awesome. All right. Well, look, guys, I think Darren is someone who's got a wealth of knowledge and definitely quite approachable as well. If you guys have got any questions post this webinar, and I'll share the recording with you, please shoot me an email and I'll be happy to connect you with Darren. If you haven't got his details, I'm sure majority of you have got access to his email. And look, I think this success library is really quite something that could be just what your business needs right now, because I think changing mindset and changing your belief system is something that has certainly helped me through my journey. And I think that Darren is the person I would certainly trust when it comes to mindset and hypnosis. I have seen him hypnotize people in the past. It's pretty interesting. It's quite impressive. Yeah.
This way you can just lay down or sit in a chair or lay in bed and put a set of headphones on and it'll do the work for you. It doesn't matter if you fall asleep, it'll do the work. It's funny, I had a lady once that they bought one of the ones when we used to sell them at $1,000 per track. And they bought that, and her husband had listened to it, and they came back to an event we were running, and he said, "Oh, I'm not sure if it's really working." he'd listened to it for 30 days and he said he wasn't sure. And his wife looked at him and said, "You got to be kidding. It's like I'm married to a whole different person." She said, "You have changed so much." And he hadn't, seen it within himself, but everyone around him had, and that's one of the reasons that it's so important that you do it and you keep track of your progress. And we added a book to the program that's in there so that to track your progress, because it was all happening unconsciously and he was making huge changes and everyone around him seen it, but he was the last person to realize, and that happens for some people, but the changes are quite dramatic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, this is our last Elevate Online for the year. If you guys have got any other topics that you'd like us to cover, I'm very keen to invite guests such as Darren, or maybe we can have Darren again, presenting on a different subject. Please shoot me an email and let us know what you guys are interested in. We had a lot on AI, we had a lot on marketing side of things, but there's obviously more to business. And I don't claim to be an expert at everything, but I do know quite a few authoritative people who specialize in their field. So, Darren, thank you very much for your presentation. I think everyone really enjoyed that. And if you got any questions, please don't be shy, and make sure you can reach Darren to get an answer, because it's better to address something than never address it and keep thinking through it. Anyway, my name's Alexei. This is Elevate Online. I look forward to catching up with you in our webinars next year. There'll definitely be a few. And for those of you who are obviously interested in getting my book, flick me an email. Happy to sign one for you and organize that for you.
I want to get a few, so I'll talk to you afterwards. I want a few of them, so for my people. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I thank you for Alexei for having me on. Because I'm passionate about helping people with mindset and things. But from a business perspective, you've been a great mentor to me as well on Google and a whole range of things over the years. We've had you as a guest speaker at our events, and I know the people that have worked with you from our point of view have got amazing results and speak super highly of you. So if you haven't been using someone like Alexei for your business stuff on that, then certainly I couldn't endorse him high enough. It's been fantastic for our clients.
Thank you. Thanks, Darren.
So,
all right, guys. Well,
take care, everyone.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
I hope to chat
Thanks,
with you
Alexei.
soon.
Thanks, Darren.
All right, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you guys.